I know some people are gonna get mad and they're gonna turn it off. They're gonna be like, that guy doesn't know what he's talking about, and they'll click it off. But I don't care. Um, because I do know what I'm talking about. But no, that's why I hate when people like they bash pits or they'll see someone walking a pit bull through a store and they'll like and they do this with Charlie too. I don't know why, but they will literally like my girlfriend will be walking with Charlie through a store,
Mm-hmm.
and there'll be people that will go one aisle over just to avoid him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he likes people. He just likes to be friendly. He's not mean. He doesn't bite, unless you give him a reason to. And even then, like, if I shove my arm in his face, he'll bite me because, I'm shoving my arm in his face and irritating the crap out of him.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm doing that on purpose. So just to play with him. But no, he's yeah, it's so. But that's what I hate. Pits have these stereotypes, and yes, there are some that have attacked, but that's happened with almost any big dog breed. German Shepherds,
Yep.
Pits, Dobermans. It's all about how they were raised.
Yep. If they have good owners, if they're being taken care for, they're not gonna mess with you. So.
Well, and you've got all these people that go, no, it's in their blood. Well, hate to tell you, but my stepbrother brought home a pregnant pit bull, and she had the puppies. We got rid of the mom, and because we really didn't want any of them.
Mm-hmm.
My mom and my stepdad ended up keeping the runt of the litter. One of my stepbrother's friends took one of the pups, and I think there was 3 boys, 4 boys and a girl. Because you had um, Princess. I'm trying to remember what all their names were. Um, 1, 2, 3. There were 4 to 5 pups, and there was one girl. Her name was Princess, and I ended up giving her away to a friend of mine, and she actually just passed away
Mm-hmm.
a few weeks ago. Because she had cancer, but she was given the best life. Anyway, but we raised these pups since they were, pups. And my mom and my stepdad brought home, bring theirs home every once in a while, and he loves me. He doesn't do anything. He just walks around. He picks up he's got this stuffed like dog,
Mm-hmm.
and they call it his baby, and he literally just holds it in his mouth and walks around. And if you've ever seen a pit, they don't wag their tail. They wag their entire butt,
Mm-hmm.
which wags their tail. Um, Yeah, but he's one of the nicest, most friendliest dogs. I've never seen him aggressive ever towards not even a fly. Like most dogs will try to catch the flies. He doesn't even do that. He doesn't care. Um, and like Princess wasn't great with little kids, but that was because when she was a puppy, there was some people who would come over to her house and um they had a kid and the kid was a little bit rough and we tried to stop him, but there was times that we weren't home and
Mm-hmm.
um like the people who were trying to stop him wasn't home, but like my stepbrother was there. So we would play with this pup, and so she wasn't really great with kids. Um but I found her a nice home, and there was the other 2 boys. I think it was 3 boys and a girl. Um the other 2 boys went to my stepbrother's friends, and I've haven't heard anything bad from any of them. They were all good pups, but they were all raised. We hugged them and cuddled with them, and we played with them, and we gave them a really good upbringing. And like I
Mm-hmm.
said, except for the girl who was kind of aggressive towards kids, just because
Yeah.
when she was brought up. But for that, I mean, I gave her to a home that it was a dad, like his daughter was in high school, and he lived by himself, wasn't gonna have any more kids, had a nice big yard that was fenced in, and didn't plan on taking her anywhere except for mowing with him, and it was or like snow plowing with him, and it would be he'd throw her in the truck, she'd lay down, and she'd keep him company while he was plowing driveways.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like the perfect perfect match. It's kind of like my grandma has a dog named Sadie, and she's a little dog. She's a mutt. We don't know what all breeds are in her. And my she was a rescue. She had a very horrible home life. She was chained up to a couch. I think I've said this before. She was chained to a couch and um, was fed cat food.
Mhm.
And so my girlfriend's sister-in-law took her and did a lot of training, a little bit of like worked with her a little bit, and um, once she figured out, once she found she was in a place that she was loved, she kind of came around. But April's niece is kind of rough with animals, and it comes back to the being rough with animals thing. And so Sadie snapped at her one day and nipped at her,
Mhm.
and Britt's like, okay, that's it, no, you're gone. So then we brought her over to grandma's, and grandma doesn't have kids over at her house, and you know, it's she's very obedient to grandma. She loves grandma, so it's one of those. You also got to figure out the home too. Like
Yeah.
you have dog owners that don't realize that, hey, they don't like my grandma. Sadie does not like guys. She has to get very used to guys when they come around.
Mhm.
Um, because we're thinking that there was some abuse or something from a guy. Well, my grandma decided it'd be a great idea to bring her to this police and fire appreciation thing,
Mhm.
and we every time we'd go over there, we'd tighten up Sadie's collar because it was always very loose, and we'd tighten it. And I think we figured out grandma was loosening it because she thought it was too tight,
Mhm.
and she took Sadie to this police and fire thing, and there was a whole bunch of guys around, and she freaked out and slipped out of her collar and started to run, and one of the police officers picked her up, like caught her, picked her up, took her back over. They were trying to put her collar back on, and she booked it again and was missing for 2 days.
Mhm.
So it was one of those that, she really shouldn't have been at that police and fire appreciation because she really didn't like guys, and her collar was too loose. So now
Yeah.
she gets walked with a harness, but still, I mean, like, she went to, yeah, my grandma's taking her places. Like, she took her to the farmer's market, and she did really well, and there's places she'll do really good, and then there's other places that she won't. So it's also about people being able to read their dogs. That's a huge part of being a pet owner is being able to read what your dog wants. Like I said,
Mhm.
Aiden doesn't bark when he has to go outside. Now if you
Yeah.
say the word outside, he'll bark. Like you're walking and you go outside and he'll go roof. He'll bark really loud and then he won't stop barking until you let him outside.
Mhm.
But you've got to realize that he needs to go out before
Yeah.
he'll say anything. Where Charlie will just go and Charlie's very quiet. All of our dogs are very quiet about when they have to go outside. Um, for Charlie will go and sit by the door,
Mhm.
and if we don't realize it, he'll come and he'll start acting obnoxious. Like he'll start nipping at our arms and stuff. Cause he's like he'll walk up to me and nip at my arm and be like, "Dad, I gotta go outside."
Mhm.
And then we finally get we finally understand that he's got to go outside, and so then we'll go and put him out, and he'll be like, "Oh, thank you." He'll run outside. Um, but so it's all about reading your dogs. I mean, April and I joke all the time about what our dogs are quote unquote saying by their expressions,
Yeah.
and we have very sassy dogs. Like they give us we'll tell them to do something, and they will look at us like, "Excuse you, I'm not doing that."
Mhm.
You know. So it's one of those where you really got to know your animal. But yeah, I hate how so many people are like, "Well, pits are horrible." No, pits who are raised in a poor environment are horrible.
Yeah.
Any dog can be that like that. And I've still had people sit there and argue with me, and I said, "Dan, okay, I'm done. I will just go about my business and end this conversation because it's. So anyway, but back to this. So I think he really saved these kids' lives, and I think that was super 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 cool. So what do
Yeah.
you think,
That's
Matthew?
quite a dog to go after. I mean, we don't know it, but we'll just call the snake a copperhead for the sake of argument. But
Right.
I mean, geez, no, I'd be booking it if I saw a snake like that. So
Well, dogs are very protective. Um, you guys all know that,
Yep.
or you know that my dog Charlie is a German Shepherd, and so April's a part of this Facebook page for German Shepherds, and there was this girl who had a German Shepherd, and she was like she had her out and about, and
Mhm.
they were at a store, and it was kind of dark, and they were walking back to the car, and this guy kind of started walking towards them, and they this girl was getting creeped out, and the closer he got, the more on like this German Shepherd who had never growled or anything in her life
Mhm.
started growling at this guy
Yeah.
because he's just kind of walking up. I wasn't saying anything. He was very creepy about it, and he's walking towards her. And the closer he got, the more kind of almost the more aggressive this dog got.
Yeah.
And then finally, the guy booked it because this dog was was about to just like pounce on him because you know
Mhm.
the dog felt very threatened, and so did his owner, and the dog could pick up on that. I mean, Charlie knows when I'm happy, sad, or otherwise. Charlie is actually very, very, very good with emotions.
Mhm.
Um, Emotions like if we take him somewhere, he goes to sleep right after because there's so many emotions he feeds off of.
Mhm.
Like especially like we went to relay, and he laid down and was um he was kind of active and he was getting pet, but there's a lot of emotion because people are happy, they're sad,
Mhm.
they're hopeful, so there's all these emotions going on, and he kind of sucks them all in and was like, "What's going on?" Um, so he can really pick up on all those. So he's picking up on all these emotions, and it really tires him out.
Mhm.
So yeah, but I'm super pumped well, not super pumped, but I'm super happy that this dog proved himself that
Yeah.
hey, he really is being super protective.
I wonder
So
if it's something with big dogs too. So, like I said, I don't know much about like
what do you mean?
why they act this way. I'm sorry, I just don't see my dog Jasmine. Like I said, little Shih Tzu protecting me from a copperhead. So I've never seen. I guess
Well,
that protective instinct I
some of
see
the
more with the larger dogs than
you,
the
you know
smaller
some of the
ones.
little dogs, like Yorkies. I'm trying to remember what exactly it was for, but they used to chase animals out. Oh, it was they would chase animals out of their holes. It was a
Mhm.
certain type of animal. But the reason they're so small and they can fit through small spaces is because they were meant to climb in a hole and get like kind of scare the other creatures out,
Yeah.
and that was their whole purpose. So it's kind of a lot of dogs have different like things that they were.
Oh yeah. I get that, but I'm just saying I've never seen them with that same
I don't know.
protective instinct.
I feel like your Shih Tzu could probably.
She'd sleep through the whole thing. She would sleep through the whole thing.
You think
I
so?
love my dog, but she would sleep through the whole thing.
Yeah, probably. You know what we better not sleep through?
What?
Movie Madness Monday! Movie Madness Monday!
Every time I play that, I realize how good it was, like how good it is. Like it just gets better and better and better
Yep.
every time I hear it. So for Movie Madness Monday this week, there was something that we didn't get to last week because we got distracted. And Matthew and I were looking through this. Matthew's like, "Put this on the next show. I really want to talk about it." So I put it on the next show, and we're not going to go through all of them, but it's an article I found on it's 50 actors who rejected iconic roles, and these are always fun for me because you've got this movie and you've got this actor who played it, and a lot of the iconic ones you're like, this was the best movie of all time, and to see, and this one actually photoshopped the faces on some of them, and it just looked creepy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Matthew and I are gonna go through because they're not really numbered. We're just gonna go through which ones we thought were. Oh, excuse me. I'm tired. Which ones were either really creepy or we could or couldn't see them. We'll just kind of go with our favorites. And the first one is one that I couldn't even imagine. And it was Forrest Gump. And um, they decided that they wanted to they wanted to originally cast. Oh, that's the wrong one. John Travolta.
Yeah, no,